All right, first question. Can we talk about control? Control issues with money, how other people act, things that are out of our control, and why control is so important to a highly sensitive person. This is a great question. Money is something to really look at. I'm going to start talking about money more on the show. So many of us have issues around money. Look at what were the issues around money. Did you grow up with someone controlling money? Did you grow up not having enough money so that you want to control it? If you weren't allowed to buy fun things for yourself, if that was seen as frivolous, if you grew up in poverty, that may be seen as frivolous or um, hoity-toity to just spend money on certain things. And so that may develop that shame around all of these things makes us want to get a sense of control. When I try to look up control issues in some of the books and some of the literature and some of the psychology information that's out there with highly sensitive people, what I find is not surprising to me. What we will find is a lot of discussion about how other people try to control us. So many HSPs are codependent. I've talked about that a lot. Go listen to some other live streams if you want that discussion. You'll hear me talk about that in the show. But if we're codependent and that means other people I've given my control away and other people have taken my control, then yeah, I'm going to want some control. If someone in my past relationship took the credit cards in one of my marriages and wouldn't let me spend money, cut off my access abusively, then I am going to want to have more control in my present life. And that makes sense. So there's this fine line, just like avoidance gets a bad rap, just like crying still gets a bad rap, that control gets a bad rap. Most human beings on the planet who are even not HSP want a sense of control. Animals want a sense of control. A mama bear wants to know where her young are. She wants to control them. And what does she do if she doesn't feel like she has control and her cubs are threatened? Her fight or flight comes on, right? She's going to run those baby bears out of there or she's going to fight. That fight or flight often is going to come on with us. So when it comes to money and control issues, really looking at what are the dynamics that I was taught, what are the energies that I was around. Is my control issue about safety? Is my control issue about controlling another person? Okay. One of the things I can't find in the literature is that when HSPs don't do their emotional work, they can be very controlling. They want to control the situation. They want to control the exit. Someone with post-traumatic stress can also be described as having a lot of control issues. There are some theories that say all of our issues boil down to control issues in a lot of ways. I believe that. When a child is abused, their sense of controlling their own body is taken away. When our mind is abused, our sense of being able to safely kind of contain our mind leaves because someone's abuses get in. That is very naturally, as a survival strategy, going to make my mind want to control and lock down on certain things. Sexually, if you were sexually abused, your body may want to shut down and control and stay in the head, then the body. So we work on these gently but firmly and with a lot of radical acceptance and radical kindness and understanding. Okay, please let more control questions come in. Because another part of that we need to do is we need to learn what is outside of our control. Last week when the live stream couldn't happen because the tech settings changed with no notice and couldn't figure it out in time. The way that happens for me is that I feel that, oh no, I'm supposed to control this. I'm in charge of this. I promise people this. And I feel that slow panic. That's also a little bit of perfectionism and integrity of wanting to do a really good job and wanting to honor what I said I would do. I do what I say and I say what I mean and I want to follow through. So when I can't because of things outside of my control, years ago, that would have had me in a complete meltdown. Because of practicing this stuff, I was able to feel that rise in me and go, oh, I know what this is. Nope, I don't control all the things. So you've probably heard me say it before, but this is my game. I'll sit with myself a minute. If I controlled everything in the universe, that's my game. If I controlled everything in the universe, this would work and that would work and that would work and he would shut up and this one would speak up and the president would be different and this and that and this and that. My hair would grow the rate I want it to. Oh yeah, I don't control any of those things. Any of those things. So in that moment, acknowledging that to myself helps me hit the release button. I'm like, oh yeah, I can only control what I can control. And that is a very powerful mantra. And if you're struggling in this realm, you may borrow mine and use it and take it, make it your own, morph it, tweak it. I can only control what I can control. I release and let go of the rest. Practicing that will help it be less mindful and will help you practice that, like practice it when the universe invites you to. In a way, I can reframe that as last week, the universe was helping me reinforce all my work on control issues and let it go. And then I get to connect to gratitude. It's very hard for my nervous system, yours too, to be in gratitude and letting go while in panic, freeze, flight, or fight. So gratitude is definitely that will help us detour anxiety and control issues and sort of come back to the self. Okay. And we use all these little techniques to help build up into our healing growth work. None of this stuff is a light switch. None of this stuff is stuff that you can hear once and burst through all the control issues of your mind. So sometimes that's why people work with me for years, which I know sounds like a very long time, but it took years for these issues to develop. So it's taken a couple years to unravel it, to repattern, to trust the healer you're working with, and to trust yourself more when trust was abused and broken with the human race when we're hurt by people. That stuff takes time. And it takes time to take your own control bricks out of all those walls, sort of one or a couple bricks at a time.